Hello viewers, as part of the ongoing series that is Salesforce Automation Testing, welcome to another video. Today, we are going to talk about the most common methods of WebDriver interface. And in this video, we'll be focusing on the two commonly used abstract methods, that is findElement and findElements, right? In the last video, we saw how a WebDriver works, that is, what is a WebDriver interface, and how do you create an object for it, and then how do you call different methods to implement your test case, right? Just a simple revision. Let's go to the first slide, that is WebDriver interface, right? So as you saw earlier, that WebDriver is an interface and you instantiate an object for the same, and then using that you can call different methods to perform different actions of a test case, right? So let us have a look at the definition one more time. And don't worry, I'll be showing you that practical thing in code as well. So for now, Selenium WebDriver is an interface that defines a set of methods which are used to perform numerous actions with input text, click, navigate, etc. for test case automation, right? So I'm just minimizing this for a while and let me show you what I mean. So this is a Salesforce instance. This is a Salesforce org, for example, and you can perform different actions here. For example, you can click here, or maybe you can enter some data here, right? All the actions that you're performing, they are being done manually right now. And there are methods in automation in Selenium WebDriver that you can implement, using which the Selenium WebDriver or the tool will do these actions for you, right? So these are very, very common actions, and you will be able to simply correlate with the manual actions as well. So, I mean, this is all you need to know about the WebDriver interface. And then when you instantiate the object, that is WebDriver, driver is equals to new Chrome driver, it can be Chrome, Mozilla, or Internet Explorer. Then you can go ahead and use that object to call different methods. What I'm saying will make more sense to you if you watch the previous video, because this is an entire course on Selenium WebDriver, right? So if you watch the previous video, you'll be able to make a better correlation. So let's have a look at one of the first method that is going to be discussed, which is findElements, right? Now, of course, you have the findElements. It says it finds the first element within the current web page by using given locator, right? And the syntax is something which you can see on the screen. Usually, I do not talk a lot about syntax in my videos. The reason being that it makes more sense to do the practical example, right? So now let me take you to the actual code. And from there, let's see how findElement is. I mean, what findElement is, how you can use it, all these things. Cool. So let's go there. So we are in the ID. Herein, you have the code written. And if you see closely and if you watch my previous videos, you realize that the steps from line number 1 till line number 26 were already discussed. So basically, just a gist, what we are doing here is that we are starting a Chrome window. We are initiating or opening a Chrome window. We maximize it, that is in line number 15. Then we navigate to the URL as in line number 18. And then we input the username, password, and click on login button as in line number 22, 23, and 24, right? So these are the steps we have discussed till now in the last video. And I did tell about the driver on instantiation in the last video and at the starting of the video as well. That is, you can use driver as an object for the interface WebDriver, and then you can call different methods, right? If you have seen my last video, you'll realize that .findElement was something that we used to locate an element and input the username in it. Cool. Now the thing is that you have been using these methods till now. You have read about them somewhere, but now it's the time to understand them and then discover more and more methods that can be very helpful for you while automating. Cool. So coming back to findElement, this is the code for findElement. Now let's get into it and let's understand it. In line number 29, that is this one, web element is equals to driver.findElement by.xpath. So what we are doing here is, let me go to the browser. Let me show you Chrome once and then you'll have a better idea. So let us go to home page, and with the help of findElement, we are going to locate an element that contains the text, which is view contacts, right? So I am going to tell Selenium WebDriver that, you know what, go ahead and locate an element for me which has the text as view contact. Now, what is this? I mean, what is the art of writing this XPath, or what is an XPath for that matter? This is mentioned in the previous videos. So all in all, please watch my series or course from the very start, so you'll have very less questions. I mean, these sort of questions. So we're sorted till by.xbar. Now with the help of findElement method, that is driver.findElement, I'll be able to locate the first element that contains the text view contacts. So always remember the key that with the difference between findElement and findElements is that findElement, that is without an S, gets you the first element that matches your XPath, whereas findElements gets you the list of all the elements that matches your XPath, right? So for now, we are only discussing findElement. Now, this particular web element is equals to driver.findElement will fetch me one of the element whose text is view contacts. And now for our better understanding, of course, when we print things, we get a better understanding. So I'm printing the text which is displayed there, right? So if you see on line number 30, it says system.out.println. findElement displays the text of the first bound element, which is, this is the normal string text. And then I'm using webElement.getText. Now, what is getText? Of course, I'll be discussing this in the coming videos, but for now, understand getText basically gets the value of the web element we have fetched, right? So again, to make it easier, in line number 29, we are using this line of code to get an element which has view contact, right? So when I refer to an element, what I mean is, because it's very important to understand what is a web element, right? Though I've explained it earlier, but I always feel that I should give as much as context as possible in every video. So when I give the XPath as, go ahead and find this element containing view contacts and everything, the Selenium WebDriver will always return me this particular line of code, that is starting from a tag up till the entire a closing tag, right? So with the help of .getText, I'll be able to fetch the text or the data which is between the curly brackets. Between A and A, there is view contacts. So I'll be able to fetch the text of this. That is the purpose, that is the reason of getText. Of course, I'll be discussing this along with a detailed example in the coming video, but for now, just understand this. So I think we have got the gist of what is happening here. Now, let me go ahead and let me execute this for you, and let's see what gets printed here, right? Of course, we have the findElements code below, so I'm going to ignore that for now. Just focus on, or rather, let's do one thing. Let's comment it out for a very, very better understanding. I've commented out the findElements thing. Let me just execute the findElement method and see what the output is. I click on play, and on your screen starts a magic. That is, the system will open browser window for you. It will navigate to the URL, enter username, enter password, click on login. It did. Now it takes you to the home page, which will be in 1 or 1.5 seconds, I guess. And now, yes, we are on the home page. We have the display. See, it was so fast I could not even speak, right? This is the printed statement. So this is findElement display the text till, which is something that we gave as a string. And the actual thing that we wanted was web element, that is the fetched web element in line number 29, and get text of that. That is whatever the text is there in that element, get that, which is view contacts. Let's verify if it's right or not. So, if you see closely, if you inspect this element again, view contacts, the text which is in between the A tag is view contacts. So it matches. That is the reason, or that is the purpose of findElement, right? Now, a tip for you as an experienced chap, that you will get to use findElements a lot as opposed to findElements. findElements is a function which is very rarely used, but yes, as far as findElement is concerned, this is very, very important because you're going to use it in almost all the steps. Why? Because you have to. The reason being that if you want to perform any action, first you have to find that element on the web page, and then you go ahead and give the data values, right? So till now, this was findElement. Till now, we have seen what it displays and all these things, right? So there you go. That is findElement. Now, let's go to understanding findElements. That is, elements, it's a plural. So it basically returns the list of elements within the current web page by using given locator. Again, the syntax and the example, we are going to see the example in action. But for now, understand, findElement return one web element or one result. Ignore web element for now, just it returns one result or one, it just returns one result. That's it. Whereas findElements returns a list of results or a list of elements that match that value. Now let's see it in action. Let me go to, okay, I did commented, so I'm going to remove the comment from here. and I'm going to add the comment somewhere here and here as well. And just a note or just a tip to you: always make sure that you include meaningful comments in your scripts or in your code, because this is a very very important coding practice. If you're planning to give your interviews, the interviewer will ask you if you have a good understanding of the of the comment practice or not. That's the best coding practice. Cool. So yeah, I mean, I'll stop there and let's focus on findElements for now. So let's understand now findElements. So if there is a result which is going to be returned and it is more than one, then you have to use findElements, which returns a list. So if you see on line number 41, it clearly mentions the keyword list or the data type list. So we are going to store the returned values in list format, right? Now let me go ahead and let me first copy this XPath and show it to you actually on the web page. I will go here and I'll paste the web page, the XPath here. Now, if you watch it carefully, you'll realize that results are 1 of 4. That is, total of 4 results are coming. So I'm saying that XPath, which says that wherever the web element has a tag, which is just a tag, and wherever there is the view word used, fetch all those. So there are 4 such web elements on the web page, and we can see them clearly: view opportunities, view accounts, view contacts, and view leads. Cool. So we have 4. Now, if you want to implement such a scenario, then you use findElements. Now let's see how do we do it. So on line number 41, again, I told you about the list data type and all these things. That is, you instantiate a list data type, and then you use driver.findElements and you pass on the XPath. So this particular line of code, which is line number 41, will return you with the list of all web elements. And in line number 43, you can ignore the loop for now, because when there are more than one elements, you have to iterate through all the elements, so you need a loop. If you understand the basics of, the very very basics of programming, this is a very basic loop. So what we are doing is that we are going to print the text of all the elements in the list. And how we are going to do that? With this line of code, which is web element list dot get text. Cool. So now let's go ahead and let's execute it. Again, the browser window will open and you will have the username and password being input, and login. And then let's wait for 1 or 1.5 seconds. So if you realize that there is only a talk about seconds in automation or milliseconds in automation, right? It did what it had to do, close the browser window, and now let's go and have a look at the console. So if you remember, there were 4 results when we pasted the XPath on the web page. There are 4 results, right? Now the console also is printing 4 results. That is from findElements number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So it gave me the text of all the 4 elements that contain the XPath as written in line number 41. That is the significance of findElements. So the next time you have a scenario wherein you have to return only one web element, or you have to find one web element, you use findElement without the S. And when you have to fetch all the elements that contain an XPath and there are multiple results, then you use findElements with the S. As simple as that. Do not worry about the code, as I mentioned it in all my videos. This code, all the details, I'll be sharing that in a Word doc with you, which will be pasted in the video description. You go ahead and give it a try at your end. And if you feel that you are facing any issue, please feel free to comment and we'll be more than happy to help you. In this video, we did talk about the, the findElement and findElements. In the upcoming videos, we'll be talking about the get method, the close method, quit method, window handle, and all these. So stay tuned and see you in the next video. Thank you.